Hey everyone, it's the Chaplain here, coming to you with a little more of BBR Explained. Today's episode is on factories and facilities. Now, this should be a fairly short episode, so I'm hoping to get this done as quickly but effectively and efficiently as possible. In the game of Axis and Allies, there are four main types of facilities: major factory, minor factory, air base, and naval base. I have here a couple examples of those factories. You can purchase these little squares from HBG. They have major and minor. You can also, from HBG, although he's currently sold out, at least at the time of this filming, buy a factory upgrade. This is a major and a minor right next to it for comparison, flopping around my hand. Major and minor. I like to use, and I know some people pick on people that use these, but I like to use the classic factories for majors and monopoly houses for minors. Now, there are some people that don't want anything on their map, and that's perfectly fine. You don't have to have anything on your map. It does add a little bit of cumbersomeness, if that's even a word. I don't think it is. But those are the factories. Then you have air bases and naval bases. I only have these as examples set out. This is a naval base. This is an air base. I like this old airfield marker. And then the naval base. I think this one actually says naval port. But anyway, there are 3D printed air and naval bases. There are some really cool looking things out there. And then depending on the maps that you have, for example, down here in Union of South Africa, there is a knocked over British infantry. There's a minor factory printed on the map and a naval base, which is pretty neat. Lieutenant Dan and Sire have done a really good job making sure that things are on the map if they need to be. This even says BBR. If you're playing BBR, a naval base goes in Argentina. Most of the rest of the board and its facilities are covered up because I'm in the middle of playing through a 1942 setup. But you can see there, the major factory is printed on, right next to my finger there. But I still have my factory on there. That's just what I like. It's a preference thing. So anyway, let's discuss really quickly. I'm trying to set this down gently. Some of the things you need to know about these factories. So industrial complex. A major industrial complex costs you 30 IPCs to build. You can only build them in territories that have a value of 3 or more. So Hong Kong, Korea, Manchuria. You cannot build a major in Johor and Shantung. You can't build a major in West India. You can't build a major in, Queensland. And then it has a built-in defense. All facilities do. It has a built-in defense, an anti-aircraft gun. So if you have an anti-aircraft gun in the territory, it doesn't get to fire extra. Just these facilities only fire in response to strategic bombing or tactical bombing, which will be in a different video. A major complex can take up to 35 damage. So it can damage your ability to produce. Well, what does it produce? A major factory can produce up to 10 units in that territory where the major factory is located. So, for example, mainland Japan, India, they can only build up to 10 units. Now, if you have a minor factory, like the one that Australia starts off with, down here at the bottom, we'll get into those in just a second, but majors you can build 10. If you have 4 points of damage on a major factory, you can only produce 6 units. The damage limits your ability to produce out of that place. And so you really want to make sure you keep your factories up and running, because if you get 35 damage on a major factory, you're just never going to build out of that factory again. I don't know what else to tell you. The next one is the minor complex. That one costs 12. My apologies if I didn't say the major costs 30. The minor one costs 12. And to upgrade, which you can do, a minor to a major doesn't cost the difference, which would be 18. No, it costs 20. So you can upgrade this one down here in Sydney so that you're able to build capital ships, because minor complexes cannot build capital ships unless they are touching a sea zone that has the shipyard logo. I'll find that in a second. No, I'll just do it right now. Let's see. Up here in Korea. Korea is worth 3. All right. If you built a minor factory there, you could, in theory, because there is a shipyard logo as I kick my stand. I've been doing this in all my videos, guys. I'm sorry. There's a shipyard symbol right there. That means that you can build capital ships out of your minor factory if you need to. See that shipyard logo? Let me just zoom in for you. There you go. Beautiful. Anyway, shipyard logo. So minor factories cannot produce a capital ship, battleship, aircraft carrier, unless they have a shipyard symbol. So the only way for Australia or ANZAC to be able to build a capital ship is for them to have to upgrade their factory in Sydney to a major. A minor factory can take up to 15 points of damage, and they can only build 3 units out of them. So Australia has $10 to start the game. You're going to buy 3 infantry, or you're going to buy a plane, or whatever. You're going to take Dutch New Guinea. You're going to go up in value. You're going to have some money. Maybe you'll just blitz over and take Dutch East Indies and have $14 to spend. That's all good and well, except for the fact that it doesn't really help you because you can only build 3 units. A lot of times what the Anzac player will do, what I've seen happen is they'll just build another minor in Queensland. It's fairly inexpensive. And then you can produce 6 units in Australia, which is pretty neat. Again, the minor complex has built-in AAAs to ward off attacks, strategic bombing, and tactical bombing. Next we have air bases and naval bases. Now these are a lot similar, and I'll just explain a lot of the similarities here. They both cost 15 IPCs to build. You can build them in any territory that you control at the start of your turn, regardless of IPC value. So, you know, the major factory, you have to have an IPC value of 3 or more to build a major. You have to have an IPC value of 2 or more to build a minor. It doesn't matter what the IPC value is to build an air or naval. I've seen a lot of times Japan will build bases in Hainan, or you know, we see Guam has an air base, Wake has an air base, Midway has an air base, and those don't have territorial value. They both also provide a +1 to movement. So aircraft taking off from an airfield can move +1. So a fighter and a tactical now have 5. Naval port, or naval base, whatever you want to call it, adds a +1 movement as well. So ships departing a sea zone that has a friendly territory containing a naval port, you're allowed to move 3 spaces now. Ships can move 3. So from San Francisco to Hawaii is only 2 spaces. You could, in theory, if you wanted to, move whatever ships from Sea Zone 10 down to Sea Zone 30. From Sea Zone 26, you know, there's a naval base, and so you can move 3, which would allow you to hit Tokyo if there weren't blockers, etc., etc. They can be targeted by tactical bombing raids, wherein tactical bombers will assault them, and they become inoperable. Let's turn the page here. They are subject to damage. There we go. They're considered inoperable if they have any damage points. So they do have built-in AAA, much like the major and minor factories, but they are subject to damage. They can be damaged up to 6, I believe. 6 from tacticals, 10 from strategic bombers, or 15 from heavy bombers. So just keep that in mind. And that's really all there is. The air bases do provide, as I mentioned in one of my first videos, the air base provides the ability to scramble. And there were some points made on the scramble video in the comments section from Sired Blood and from Mr. Scrubbert, I believe. So make sure that you go check that video out, and make sure that you're reading the comments in these videos so that you really get the full scope. Anything that I might have missed, people add in the comments, which is phenomenal and wonderful, such a great resource. But yeah, hit like and subscribe. I'm at 90-something subscribers now. I'd love to hit 100 so I can give something away. Tell your friends. Create a spam account. I don't care. No, don't do that. That's unethical. But yeah, help me out. Let me help me reach 100, and I'll do a cool giveaway. So that's it. I'm the chaplain. I'll be praying for you.